So after 8 years and being tossed around development teams about 3 times, Dying Light 2 finally came out a couple of months ago. Then with a $70 price tag no less, which unfortunately seems to be the new normal for games these days. So today, we're going to be talking about whether or not that $70 price tag is worth it, and if Dead Island 2 as a whole is worth it. Be sure to watch to the end because we cover just about everything here. As usual with these videos, take everything I say with a grain of salt because I am not a review channel. This is all just my unfiltered, unbiased opinion. So the first topic that we're going to delve into is the main selling point of this game, which is the combat. And I'll tell you, it's good. It has the best zombie gore system I've ever seen in a game, and if more developers learn from this gore system, we could be in for a real treat with future games like this. The voice acting is kind of whatever. It's not the greatest, it's not the worst. All the characters have different reactions to different things. They're all voiced by different people. Each playthrough you'll hear different things depending on what character you choose. I went with Ryan, but some clips you're going to see in this game, I played as Jacob as well because Ryan is kind of slow in the beginning. He's mainly a tank. But in my opinion, I think he's one of the best people because you could just turtle stuff over and over again. It's actually kind of broken. If you just hold in the block button and keep spamming the attack button, you'll just do the parry maneuver over and over and over again and nothing can hit you, you'll parry everything. And it's really OP because every time you parry stuff, it gets stunned, so you can do a finisher on it and kill it instantly. Everything except for the special zombies like the crushers and the screamers and all that. But little zombies, you parry them and insta-kill them to your heart's content. They can't stop you. And the combo system is awesome. There's all kinds of different finishers for different things. You got big weapons, knives, pole arms, axes, even your bare fists if you want. Each weapon class has its own finisher move that's pretty cool. You even do a special animation every time you land a heavy attack that's fully charged. And these animations are different depending on where you hit them. If you hit him in the chest, you get a different animation than if you would have hit him in the head. It's pretty cool. You could beat a zombie until they're a skeleton laying in the street. You can knock their jaws off, their arms, everything. Everything that's on the zombie is completely destructible. But the combat isn't all that perfect. I feel like the melee weapons don't really have a lot of weight to them, so most of the time you're just kind of wildly slashing while they wildly slash at you. When I hit a zombie with a weapon, it doesn't really feel like I'm hitting them, it feels like I'm kind of just gliding through them. Zombies are also immune to different types of status effects, but they did it in a pretty stupid way in my opinion. Spiky zombies can't be hit by anything that inflicts bleed, shock zombies can't be hit by anything that inflicts shock, etc, etc. Even bullets, if they're afflicted with a status, won't hurt a zombie who's immune to it, which I think is pretty stupid. If you want to not give them the status effect, that's fine, but don't act like I'm not still shooting them in the face or hitting them with a mace. That rhymed. Enough about melee weapons, let's start talking about guns. I'm not going to cover every type of gun in the game because they all do the same thing, but rifles and shotguns feel okay. I will say though, the gore is a little underwhelming. With a gore system as intricate as this, you would think that shooting a zombie in the face with a shotgun would blow half of its skull off or take its face off, but it doesn't, and that's kind of disappointing to me. But other than that, they feel okay. You'll be introduced to the types of zombies around the world through boss fights. You got the Screamer, the Spitter, the Crusher, the Butcher, the Exploder, and whatever the hell this thing is. Now knowing these different zombie types are important because once the boss fight's over, they're in your world now, just kind of walking around doing whatever they do. Now after some point in the story, you'll be able to get different body parts from these things to make all kinds of cool combo weapons. And there are a lot of blueprints to find. I don't even think I found half of them yet and I beat the main story. You get them from main story, side quests, just going out and finding them, or buying them from traders. You can repair weapons, you can match them to your level once you out-level them, and you also get a storage locker for the stuff that you just can't bring yourself to scrap or sell. In Dead Island 2, you get to pick your Slayer. Now each Slayer does different things depending on who you choose. Now I'm not going to break down every character and tell you what they do or else we'll be here for 5 minutes, so I'm just going to name them off. And you can pause the video and read the cards in the top right if you want to know. So we got Jacob, Lil Pump, Loba from Apex Legends, Danny, who I have no one to compare to, Ryan, who I thought was a real firefighter but turns out he's just a male stripper, and Ronan from Rogue Company. Now as I said before, each of these characters are uniquely voiced by their own voice actors, so you could play through the game 7 different times and never hear the same thing twice. There's also a bunch of different skill cards to choose from which completely change the way that you play the game. I'm not going to get into every single one because there's just so many and they all do different things, But you can do all kinds of builds. You could steal health, you could set zombies on fire by drop kicking them, you can spit acid at people, all kinds of different stuff that completely change the way that you play. You also have these things called curveballs. They're throwable items. You find these in quests and laying around the world. One thing I really like about this game is all the environmental effects that you could do. Everything around you is a weapon, whether it be water, fire, electricity, this acid, corrosive stuff, and it really puts together a lot of different ways that you can handle hordes of zombies. Zombies having a pool party and didn't invite you? Throw a battery in that bitch. Zombies won't quit banging on the window? Dump some gas there and light them up. Shit, better yet, just set the whole street on fire. So when it comes to combat and environmental effects, the game is good. And at the end of the day, that's all we really want from a zombie game, right? Now we're going to talk about quests and side activities. Now this is a spoiler-free review, so I'm not going to get into the story, but I'm going to show you a couple clips of it here. Don't worry though, they won't spoil anything. I enjoyed my time with the main story. I didn't find it tedious. I found it to be pretty interesting. And I knew as soon as I started seeing all that acid crap around, I knew exactly what they were setting me up for. And lo and behold, my biggest fears came true. It was the goddamn sewers. For those of you who watch me for a little while, you know that I absolutely hate sewers in zombie games. Every zombie game has one, and I don't know why. I even commented about that on my Dead Island 1 review. But nevertheless, I traversed my way through this underground hellhole, trying to get to this doctor or whatever. Well, Ellen DeGeneres didn't like that very much and threw me over the railing into a pit of zombies, where I proceeded to kill all of them Dying Light 2 style. After I was finished, I proceeded to drink 7 more sewer sodas and throw a rake at this screaming bitch's head. After some words of wisdom from my character, I was finally in Grand Theft Auto 5. Then it was here where I was promptly greeted by some assholes yelling at me from the rooftops. I went into the parking lot and got to work, trying to save them. I couldn't figure out how to close the gate, and these unhelpful dumbasses just kept screaming at me to use the button in this hut that didn't work. So I looted the surrounding area and found what I truly needed to get the job done. Now, I'm not going to get into any more of the main story because this is a spoiler-free review, so we're going to talk about side quests and activities now. The side quests aren't terrible by any means. I did have fun doing most of them, except for this one. This one was completely insufferable. The side quests are worth doing because they do give you some really good gear, and like I said, most of them are pretty fun. And with the main story being only 24 missions long, you're going to be doing mainly side quests. And obviously it varies from person to person depending on how you have fun, but I'm halfway through a second playthrough, and even though I've already done these quests, I'm still not bored of them yet. So now we're going to get into some of the side activities that you can do, the first one being killing named zombies and finding locked chests. So around the world of Dead Island 2, there will be locked chests that have names on them, and you need to go around and find the zombies that have the keys. It's pretty straightforward and you get some decent gear out of it. A similar concept are these fuse boxes that are around. You get these fuses from merchants. Once you have your fuses, go to a fuse box, put them in, and cash out. They got real good gear in there. They have another type of side activity that I haven't done yet. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt type deal. I don't even have any footage of it because, like I said, I didn't do it because I didn't care, so I can't comment on it. I should have put this in the blueprint section of the video, but I forgot to, so I'm going to show it here. Here's where you can buy blueprints and also sell your gear. Another thing that's pretty cool about Dead Island 2 is the fact that you can just get into locked doors any way you really want. Just because the door's locked doesn't mean you gotta find the key. And that doesn't just apply to locked doors, there's different ways to get loot too. If you're in a situation like this where you want to get the loot but there's a puddle of electrified water in your way, you get to choose whether you want to take the water out of the equation or the electricity out of the equation. It's pretty cool. Dead Island 2 is not fully open world. The game is broken down into zones instead. Now, much like a few other things in this video, I can't show you all the zones because we would be here forever, but I'll show you a few. We got Beverly Hills, Hollywood Boulevard, and a random metro tunnel. You can fast travel to these places or you could just run there, using these little military checkpoints that split the map up into zones. One really small thing, but also really annoying thing, is you can't put a waypoint anywhere that you want. You gotta put it on an objective, so if you gotta run somewhere that's not marked on the map, good luck. Co-op, though, on the other hand, is kind of a tricky subject. When it works, it's fun, but here's the catch. If you are not on the same exact quest as your friend, you cannot join them. Now, I don't know if they can join you if they're ahead of you, but I do know if they're ahead of you, you can't join them. There is no drop-in, drop-out co-op here. I'm not sure why they decided to do that. it really hinders the co-op experience. But like I said, if you're on the same exact story quest as your friend, it is pretty fun to get in there and kick some ass together. So I came into Dead Island 2 with zero expectations, and that might have been the best thing that I could have done. Because I can tell you confidently, I really enjoyed this game, and I was certain after 8 years of development hell that this game would be terrible. And I'm happy to say, they proved me wrong. In my time with Dead Island 2, I experienced one bug. It happened after me and my friend died. When we spawned back in, we weren't able to move. I don't know what the hell is going on. I can't do anything. I can open my menu, and I'm obviously glitched out because, oh, now they were able to hurt me. I can't move, I can't do anything. They're just beating me to death.
They're killing you, yeah.
But like I said, out of my 24 hours and 10 minutes of playtime, that was the only bug that we encountered. So it's time for the $1 million question. Is Dead Island 2 worth $70? No. Alright, I'm kidding. Well, kind of. Anyone who's been on my channel for a while knows how I feel about $70 games. I comment on it on my podcast, I commented my thoughts about it on Redfall. So, no, I don't think this game is worth $70, and it's hard for me to think of a game that is. I mean, I'm not usually one to nitpick graphics and stuff, but for $70 it would be nice to see a reflection. And while the gameplay is good, the graphics aren't that great. They have this annoying film grain effect that you can't turn off, and in some ways I think Dead Island Definitive Edition looks better. Dead Island 2 does a Dead Island 1 beat though in almost every single way other than that, at least in my opinion. So while I really did enjoy Dead Island 2, I would not recommend it for $70. I will tell you though, this game is on sale on Epic Games right now for 20% off. And if that's not good enough, you compare it with the coupon that they got going on right now due to the mega sale. That lets you get Dead Island 2 for $35. And that, my friends, is a steal. So the moral of the story is, pick this game up on sale. There's definitely fun to be had here, and they really did do a good job digging this game out of the grave. But that's been my Dead Island 2 review. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to hit that subscribe and bell notification so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Dear Eli Mustard, where'd you go, my southern friend? I miss all of your inventions and the games that we pretend. You used to go out hunting monsters and killing zombies in the mall. Then you disappeared, you went and left us all.